Mara Junot is living her best life. Once an insecure little girl who was teased for having a deeper than average voice, she now uses it to make a living, and a great one at that. Her inbox is filled with offers for her sultry voice to serve as an instructor, expositor, or even an enforcer. And it can all be done from the comfort of her home studio. This position certainly wasn't an overnight success, but a slow grind of dues paying, faith leaping, and talent refinement. Junot has been able to achieve her dreams because of her resilience and dedication to honing her craft. She is a testament to the power of never giving up on your dreams, no matter how difficult the journey may be. Hello and welcome, or welcome back, to the Awesome Blackness channel. I am the Mighty One, and on this platform, we celebrate the awesomeness of our people. That's right. Whether you're big or small, celebrity or civilian, anywhere in the world, if it's awesome, it's featured here. And for this video, we highlight Mara Junot. Born on the 10th of May in 1976, Junot is from Houma, Louisiana, about an hour southwest of the Big Easy. She explains in interviews that she was bullied as a child because her voice didn't sound feminine enough. However, she credits her parents for their encouragement. Throughout her childhood, her mother inspired her to embrace her voice as a gift and use it to spread joy. Junot attended the University of Southwestern Louisiana for liberal arts, vocal training, and honors English. From there, she took on a number of jobs, from legal assistant to warehouse management to a clerk at a bookstore. However, she would eventually put her college education to use, landing in radio for the greater New Orleans area.
Off the subject of Christmas, what's up in birthdays? I'm sure there's some celebrities having birthdays. We can totally change the subject and become happy at this point.
Well, okay, now my celebrity birthday list is a little whack because it lists John Amos from Good Times.
Yes!
And
James Evans.
He's so not around. They say he's 64. I guess he would be 64.
He died?
Yeah, like 10 years ago.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
I didn't hear nothing about it. Obviously,
yes,
the people who wrote the birthday list didn't hear anything about
he
it.
Had like a heart attack. Anyway, I will do my research and I'll get you the info later. But Mike Pinder of the Moody Blues turned 64 as well today. Cokie Roberts, she's 60. Oh, he's 62. She?
I don't know.
Yeah, she. It's a she.
I don't care. Go ahead.
Mick Jones of Florida turned 61. And David Knopfler of the Dire Straits, he's 53.
Okay, the Dire Straits.
All right, I was just saying...
Of Dire Straits.
I know, but you know what I mean.
It's time for traffic.
Yes, it is, and it's brought to you by...
This seemed to be the most prominent position she held, and allayed the fear that she would be a serial career seeker. She thrived in her time as an on-air personality, undertaking not just a single shift for one format. According to her, she would serve as morning co-host and assistant producer for the Wake and Bake morning show on Rock 106.3 KXOR FM, which is classic rock and modern alternative. Then do a midday shift on country station C107.5 KCIL FM. And then the afternoon drive for adult contemporary Mix 96.7 KBZZ FM. Her work ethic and pliable voice helped her continue receiving such promotions until she indicated she hit a plateau. With a disinterest in becoming a program director or any form of upper management, she made the decision to step away from broadcasting after nearly 8 years in the profession. Again, she considered her options. There was once a time where she wanted to be an actress. So, while I was in the very late stages of editing, that is to say, the script is long finished. In fact, voiceover is done. We're in Filmora right now and we're piecing it all together. I went to grab a screen cap of her IMDb page for a point I'm going to make but a moment later, only to discover that it had been updated since I last saw it. So I jumped on the Wayback Machine just to confirm that I wasn't having a bad trip. And as of the January 2021 grab, it wasn't there. The newest entry being a 1999 movie, Crazy in Alabama, where she has a small uncredited role. Curious, I now have to do some research into this movie, and one of the first things I immediately discovered was that one of the shooting locations was in her hometown. Now I had to see if I could spot Little Miss Singer at Pool, so I rented the movie on Amazon. And sure enough, she is present in a few moments of that scene, demonstrating that Mara flirting with movie stardom went beyond mere daydreaming to being in a major motion picture directed by Antonio Banderas of all people. But the desire to preserve her anonymity had become a higher priority, especially in an era where technology advanced and everyone's accessibility to such information thereby increased. That's when it hit her. Voice acting. After all, she figured, she had a leg up being in radio, despite industry professionals decrying voice work as the kiss of death. And so, she dove headfirst into finding her way, listening to podcasts, attending workshops, joining Facebook groups, and signing up for pay-to-play sites where she could post her demo. And while the work came in slow at first, she began making headway. According to her IMDb, the first role of note was in the 2005 MMORPG World of Warcraft, Mists of Pandaria. A gig that seems to be within the time she was on the radio, lending to the notion that she had been toying with the idea of pursuing voiceover well before leaving her on-air profession. However, in 2009, after she had resigned from her radio position, Junot secured a role in League of Legends, and her efforts helped her to land Star Trek Online and Kung Fu Live in 2010. Junot's budding career was boosted at the top of the year in 2012 after retaining representation by her first talent agency, ACM. She booked the gig in Telltale Studios' The Walking Dead. Also during this time, she leveraged her training and education to become a voiceover coach and telephony specialist at the New York-based Edge Studio. Another significant job of note was her longtime stint as brand ambassador for Joel Osteen Ministries. In an interview, she mentions how coming upon this was nothing short of providence.
One of the most popular televangelists in the country, his name is Joel Osteen. I am his branding voice on television and radio, Sirius XM, and phone systems and all that. He was, doing auditions. I got a direct invitation to audition, and I saw it in my inbox. A million other things were going on. I was busy prioritizing actual gigs and stuff for my agents, and I wound up missing the audition. Didn't think anything of it. Come to find out, Joel's team then went to my website, tried to get my phone number. Somehow there was some typo on my phone number, couldn't reach me there either. I should have probably lost it at that point. But then I think got in touch with my manager, and then finally was able to get in touch with me and sent me an email and was just like, hey, I'm so sorry to bother you, but we just wanted to know, my boss, the producer said my boss is really, out of all the people he's auditioned, you were the one where he put 5 stars by, so if you don't want to audition or whatever, could you just let us know? And it's like, oh, well, who's your boss? It's just like Joel Osteen. I'm like, oh, it's only my mother's favorite, like, I don't know if you call him preacher, minister, televangelist, but of all time, it's a really kind of powerful full circle thing for me. My mother, years ago, almost died of a very aggressive cancer. She was given, I think, a few months to live. She didn't even tell us about it at the time because, she was really scared and she didn't know what was going to happen. And interestingly enough, Joel Osteen's mother had gone through something similar where she had gotten really ill and she was given, I think, a 5% chance to live. She was only supposed to live, I think, a matter of a few months as well, or a few weeks. It was really, really bad. And then she wound up being emaciated and her skin was like jaundiced and it got really bad. And she wound up telling her recovery story. What she wound up doing to get better was she had gotten so, if I'm telling this story correctly, she had gotten so physically ill and everything, just looking at herself in the mirror, she just felt like she kind of looked like walking death. So you know, she knew the power of faith and belief and visualization and all that. And she just wanted to kind of align her vision to heal herself with an idea of health. But looking in the mirror, she didn't know how to make that happen. So she just would paste pictures of herself when she was healthy all over the house. So she could just look at that and she would say, I am healthy and strong and whatever. And, you know, through a lot of, you know, positive thinking and faith and prayer, she's been recovered now for, I think, even a couple of decades now. But she, unbeknownst to me at the time, was the one person who got my mother through. Her story inspired my mother enough to hold on and believe that she too might be able to beat this with, you know, faith and prayer and hope. And she never gave up, and she just, you know, vehemently, you know, held on to, her name is Dodie Osteen. She held on to Miss Dodie's story. So this was all unbeknownst to me. So fast forward to years later, I wind up becoming the voice of Joel, which my mother already thinks is cool. Joel winds up coming to New Orleans, which is where we were living in Greater New Orleans at the time. My mother was a couple hours away, but I made sure that I was gonna get a backstage pass to finally get to meet Joel in person, to meet the producers I've been working with. And he offered a ticket for my mother as well. So I was like, oh my God, my mother would love this. This is gonna be great. So we go out there and we're backstage, and my mother is talking to one of the producers, and she tells the story about, you know, how thanks to Joel Osteen's mother, Dodie, you know, she's still alive to this day, and, you know, her story saved her life and everything. She's actually here backstage. He's like, I have to tell her. So he runs, finds her, pulls her aside, and was just like, you have to hear this woman's story. My mom and her get together. It's hugs all around, tears, everything. I walk up. I have no idea what is happening. They tell me the story. It's waterworks all around. It's just like, you know, kumbaya. We're like circle of life. Like, what is happening? And it was just one of the most full circle, powerful things I'd ever experienced, you know, because I wasn't like an uber religious person or anything at the time. I, you know, got the position and, you know, but let me tell you, that was sort of a miraculous sort of connecting the dots to realize there was just something overwhelming about realizing that, you know, my employer now, you know, because of the energy and his story that he's putting out there, put his mother on a platform, which then gave my mother the inspiration to still be with me. It was just like, you know, like...
Junot recognized that, even though voiceover work was accessible virtually anywhere in the world, she needed to relocate to a place where her opportunities for desirable offers would be greater. And that place was westward. And while she initially relocated to Colorado, she would eventually make her way to California. She explained that her decision was influenced by receiving a significant offer and being signed by William Morris, one of the premier talent agencies on the West Coast. Junot's extensive resume spans nearly 15 years, making it impractical to list every gig she's undertaken. Her career, meticulously documented on her website and other platforms, offers comprehensive details that would exceed the brevity required for this video and divert from the central point I'll elaborate on later. Nevertheless, it suffices to describe her as an auditory chameleon, seamlessly blending into both media and real-life environments. She brands herself as a shapeshifter, an apt term for this Southern Creole-cultured individual whose non-regional, racially ambiguous cadence can seamlessly fade into the background of an airport or mold into the character she portrays. This brings me to the meat of my thesis, the nature for why I wanted to make a video on her. I was in the middle of working on a script for a thrice-bumped project that is still in the works, I swear, and on another of my million tabs, YouTube was on. And there I was, half paying attention to whatever the algorithm brought up next, when I happened upon this video detailing the voice actors for the latest entry in the Mortal Kombat series. When it came upon the actress who voiced Tanya, I expected that it would be a melanated sister, and it piqued my interest to make a nice quick video on her. You know, probably jump on a trend for once and see if I can get any traction. But chiefly highlighting the awesomeness of another of our people, crushing it out there in their chosen field. However, when the actress for Sindel was presented, I stopped what I was doing, and I knew that we needed to talk about Junot. You know, I've made videos where I've mentioned the inevitable downside to this demand for racial accuracy when it comes to casting voice actors, using Kimberly Brooks' performance as Batgirl in Injustice as an example in one of them.
Nevertheless, Kimberly Brooks, whose vocal talents indeed watered this daisy, was more than competent, with close to 200 credits to her name, including, strangely enough, Batgirl.
You don't stand a chance.
Proving that it works both ways, people. You want a champion for more accurate representation, you're going to wind up taking work away from the very same people you're knighting for, so just keep that in mind.
The premise for such a decry is based on how white actors are routinely cast for non-white parts. Again, I have videos where I use examples such as Laura Bailey, who was cast as Nadine in the Uncharted series, and David Gassman as Tyler Miles in the Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy game. My stance has always been that the roles should go to the right talent, with any other factors and features being a distant second. Because again, if we really kept that same energy, we'd predictably have Charisse Booth as Tanya, but not Mara Junot as Sindel. And it seems that would be a disservice. Now, having said that, I know some may be thinking that this is pretty rich coming from a channel that places the blackness of a person above anything else. But, as the bio states, the mission is simple: to spread the awesomeness of our beautiful and diverse people, not at the exclusion of other groups. And that's essentially what I wanted to say, and what I built this entire video around. A simple highlight of this melanated actress playing an Asian queen of a fictional universe. And it was alright. Which is why what makes her awesome is apparent. Mara Junot has built a career for herself where she is truly comfortable and uninhibited. The fruits of her labor are paying off in more choice roles and the relief one has when financial worries are off the table. Again, Junot is living her best life. Her career as a voice actress has been defined by her talent, dedication, and the ability to breathe life into a diverse array of characters. Her work continues to entertain and inspire audiences, and she remains a prominent figure in the world of voice acting. And again, as mentioned in my video on the legendary voice actress Cree Summer, anyone with the ability to work in your PJs is a person after my own heart. Okay, so thanks for watching. This was a concept that came together so quickly as I felt compelled to honor her and her work, with the impetus being the character she played for the last 2 games of this AAA franchise. That said, I need to stop being pleasantly distracted and focus on a project that appears to be the victim of my penchant for perfectionism and purgatorial placement. Say that 4 times fast. In the meantime, if you like what you've seen here, you keep the love coming the best way you know how, by liking and sharing. Get more people to like, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you know when I drop another nugget. And until then, stay awesome.